melon and cotton candy or strawberry lemonade and mango. It can be adult friendly with alcohol infused flavors. 2 area locations open until 8 p.m. every day. Follow Philly Freeze Me on social media at Philly Freeze Me or online at phillyfreezeme.com.
Immersive Disney animation is the groundbreaking experience of a lifetime, featuring the animated sights and sounds of Disney's most iconic films, from The Lion King to Frozen to Encanto and more. Step into the magic of Disney's greatest characters. Immersive Disney animation is now open at Lighthouse Art Space Las Vegas at the Shops at Crystals. Tickets at DisneyImmersive.com. Brought to you by the producers of Immersive Van Gogh.
Join us for a once-in-a-lifetime experience to see the Hoover Dam up close and personal on a guided tour of Lake Mead. Sit back and enjoy the cool breezes aboard the Desert Princess paddle wheel boat while taking in the sights of the greatest man-made engineering wonder of the modern world and National Historic Landmark. To reserve a spot on the Hoover Dam sightseeing tour or the Sunset Dinner Cruise, visit LakeMeadCruises.com.
Ladies, welcome to Las Vegas. Welcome to Australia's Thunder from Down Under. The world's #1 girls' night out that performs every night at Excalibur Hotel and Casino. And what happens in Vegas happens at Thunder.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program's participants and do not necessarily reflect those of station staff, management, and advertisers.
It's time for the most interactive radio program in Las Vegas today. It's time for Pushing the Limits with Brian Shapiro. Brian will talk sports, politics, entertainment, and anything that matters to you. Feel free to call Brian at 702-221-7283.
You want answers? I want the truth!
Now, Pushing the Limits, here's Brian Shapiro.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. It is Pushing the Limits time. So glad you could join us on this beautiful afternoon in the Valley. And we got a lot to get to. We got a lot to talk about today. Oh, yes, we do. Off the rails interview that Donald Trump did in Las Vegas on the Strip by a right-wing outlet called Nevada Globe, The Globe. I've had a few people on from The Globe, by the way. Many of them are election deniers and even January 6th deniers. Yes, I did months back. So we're going to talk a little bit about this, some of the statements that Donald Trump made. By the way, Nevada is a very important swing state. And when you call an entire state disgraceful when you're trying to become the next president of the United States, probably not a very smart thing to do. But we'll dissect it. We'll talk about it. Tommy Tuberville. I just love saying his name, Tommy Tuberville. It's a great name to say.
Tommy Tuberville.
Yeah, Tommy Tuberville.
That is a good name.
Rolls off the tongue, right? Tommy Tuberville. Kind of like I was watching Grady Dick at the NBA Summer League. It's just a great name to say, hey, I watched Grady Dick today. Sounds like a porn star. But anyway, I digress. Tommy Tuberville, the last couple days, really the last couple months, in the last couple of years, he's been defending white nationalism, right? And anybody with a brain knows what white nationalism is. It's the idea that the white people are the best race. We are the best. We are superior. I mean, in essence, isn't that the definition of racism, right? Well, now he's finally owning it, and he's admitting that white nationalists are racist. Why is he doing that, though? I'm going to dissect why he's doing it. I think I know why he's doing it, why he's finally saying what's true about white nationalism. We'll talk about that coming up a little bit later on in the show. The bounty hunter said some very, very homophobic things, some very nasty things about the LGBTQ community. We're going to play that for you. Is his career over? It very well might be. So we have that audio for you. We'll play it for you. Eric Swalwell just completely destroyed Jim Jordan in the House chambers today. I have that audio to play for you. It is great. It is hilarious. We have that to play for you as well. So much to get to and so much to talk about. And this might shock some of you. Fox News contradicting themselves. I know that might really shock you. I'm going to play some Sean Hannity audio for you and then compare it to today. It's mesmerizing. So like I said, we have a lot to talk to. We have a lot to get to. I was also at the Las Vegas Aces game yesterday, and I spoke to arguably the best point guard of all time, Isaiah Thomas. I'll share my experiences. It was a star-studded event yesterday, and I'm not even really talking about the players that were playing. I'm talking about everyone that was sitting courtside. It was crazy, man. Paul George was out there. John Wall was out there. Mike Krzyzewski was sitting courtside with Mark Davis. That was really cool. As I mentioned, Isaiah Thomas was there. It was just so Vegas, man. It's so great. So awesome. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the program as well. I want to start with Donald Trump. I know this might be a shocker to some of you. Brian, you're obsessed with Donald Trump. So let me give this as a prerequisite. Donald Trump is still the face of the Republican Party. Donald Trump is still the front runner with the Republicans to be the next president of the United States, at least trying to be, at least according to Republicans. He is destroying Ron DeSantis. So when all of you out there are saying, why are you talking about Donald Trump? My question to you is, why are you talking about Hillary Clinton? Hillary Clinton's not running for office. She's no longer a politician. Why would you talk about Hillary Clinton? I'm not going to talk about Republicans that are not running for office. Today, I'm not leading the show with George W. Bush because he's no longer the president and he's not running for office again. I talk about people that are relevant, and Donald Trump is certainly relevant. He's more than relevant. He's the face of the Republican Party. So to answer all of you out there that are going to say, why do you keep talking about Donald Trump? He is the front runner to be the next president of the United States, at least on the right. I don't know if he's going to beat Joe Biden, but at least on the right. That is why I talk about Donald Trump on this show. Donald Trump made a visit to Las Vegas, and he did an interview with a right-wing publication. I guess that's a nice way of putting it, called the Nevada Globe. I can't spend 10 seconds on that website. Why? Well, because the site is run by an election denier and a GOP hack. So let's just start right there. It depends to be real journalism, and it's quite the opposite of that. So they had a sit-down with Donald Trump on the Strip. And let's keep in mind that the state of Nevada is a swing state. It's a very important state if you want to be the next president of the United States. The interview starts with these questions. And folks, I'm not making this up. I'm being very serious. What is your favorite childhood memory, and how do you carry that with you? You have an opportunity. Wow, what a riveting question. You have an opportunity to sit down with one of the most controversial figures on the planet in Donald Trump. And the first question you decide to ask, a man, by the way, who's facing multiple felony counts, the sexual abuse that he's been found liable of, the classified documents, the conversation with Raffensperger, all the things that are over Donald Trump's head right now. And this guy from the Nevada Globe asked him about a childhood memory that he remembers. Real riveting stuff. Anyway, that's how it started. Then he goes on to say, what do you think they'd be saying to you now as you're going through another campaign in this legal prosecution, if you will? I mean, these questions were actually asked in this exclusive Trump sit-down in the state of Nevada. And, Trump provided his classic answers and classic commentary that only Donald Trump would. First of all, in regards to Adam Laxalt, who supported Donald Trump, by the way, he said Laxalt was a very weak candidate. He was pathetic. I helped Laxalt do the best he could. I guess his grandfather was strong. His father was good, but I guess the chain got weaker and weaker. Adam Laxalt is a stiff. I can't believe I'm agreeing with Donald Trump. Have to tend to agree with him on that one. Oh, yeah, and then he talked about the elections and the election-denying nonsense, the big lie. He says, quote, I think I won the last time. I think I won both times by a lot. This is a state that is disgraceful. Donald Trump, who's trying to be the next president of the United States, in speaking about the state of Nevada, a swing state, said the state of Nevada is disgraceful. Very intelligent thing to say, Mr. President. Very, very intelligent. He also lied, of course, and he said he won both times, which he didn't. And then my friend John Ralston, who actually runs a real journalist website, the Nevada Independent, actual real journalism, goes on Twitter, quotes exactly what Donald Trump said in this interview. You can't make this up. Verbatim, word for word. And then the head of this Nevada Globe on their Twitter account says, you're mischaracterizing it. There's context. No, there's not. We have the whole interview. That's exactly what Donald Trump said. He said, I think I won the last time. I think I won both times by a lot. This is a state that is disgraceful. We're not misquoting here. That's exactly what he said in the interview. And of course, there was no pushback on that statement. Of course, when a right-wing publication, and that's usually the only interview that Donald Trump will do these days, right-wing echo chambers, there's no pushback on what he said. Like if somebody says the earth is flat, wouldn't you say, well, no, sir, that's not true. No, Kyrie Irving, that's not true. In fact, the earth is not flat. That's been proven. Or would you just let that person just keep lying and spewing garbage? That's what this Nevada Globe does, and that's what a lot of members of the media do, particularly those on the far right. And for God's sakes, if somebody on the left says something that is not factually accurate, I want to call that out as well. Donald Trump says he won by a lot the last 2 times, and that the state of Nevada is disgraceful. Well, let me tell you something. We have our problems just like any other state. Las Vegas is not disgraceful. Nevada is not disgraceful. There's a lot of wonderful people in this state, a lot of good people in this state, and a lot of people that did not vote for you, Donald Trump. This is not a disgraceful state. I remember after October 1, and if anybody should know this, Donald Trump should know this, but he doesn't. Or maybe he's unaware. But after October 1, man, did this city come together. We put all of our personal differences aside, and this city came together, and we prayed, and we helped in any way we could, whether it was donating blood, raising money, whether it be our sports organizations. This state is not disgraceful. Yes, there might be some disgraceful people living in the state, like the Michelle Fioris of the world, but this state as a whole is not disgraceful. And for Donald Trump to make a statement like that, and for Republicans to still brown-nose him, you Trump supporters out there, that is what is disgraceful here, not calling out the obvious, that Donald Trump's statements are absurd. They're ridiculous, is what they are. And it's amazing because I want to play you a little bit of audio, and I want to start by playing audio of Ted Lieu. And Ted Lieu, the Democrat chair, made some statements on the House floor yesterday that I want to play for you. And when you hear MAGA Republicans, two-tier justice system, right? They always use that terminology as if all the people within the justice system and all the judges and the FBI, they're all liberals, right? They're all Democrats, which is obviously not true. There are plenty of Republicans within the FBI that work in our justice system as well. But if you talk about Donald Trump to many MAGA supporters and many Republicans, they will lead you to believe that they're all a bunch of liberals and they're all a bunch of Democrats. Well, Ted Lieu, in my opinion, set the record straight and did it in a very intelligent way. This is Ted Lieu on the House floor. He's interviewing Chris Wray on the House floor. And he uses something called facts, something that some people in this country don't like to use. During the Trump days and during the Trump administration, about the people that were prosecuted, the people that worked within the Donald Trump organization and administration. This is Ted Lieu setting the record straight and proving that we do not have a two-tier justice system. Have a listen to this.
Trump advisor Roger Stone was convicted in a federal court, correct?
That's my recollection.
Trump donor Elliot Brady was convicted in a federal court, correct?
Also my recollection.
The Attorney General at the time for those 2 convictions was Bill Barr. Which president nominated Bill Barr for Attorney General?
President Trump.
Trump's former lawyer Michael Cohen was convicted on 2 separate occasions in a federal court, correct?
I believe that's correct.
The Attorney General at the time for Cohen's second conviction was Matthew Whitaker. Which president appointed Matthew Whitaker as acting Attorney General?
President Trump.
Okay. Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, was convicted in a federal court, correct?
Yes.
Trump's former deputy campaign manager, Mr. Gates, was convicted in a federal court, correct?
That's my recollection.
Trump's campaign foreign policy advisor, George Papadopoulos, was convicted in a federal court, correct?
Yes, I think he pled guilty, yes.
The Attorney General at the time of those 3 cases was Jeff Sessions. Which president nominated Jeff Sessions for Attorney General?
President Trump.
You were the FBI director for all of those cases at the time. Which president nominated you?
President Trump.
Okay. What these facts show is we don't have a 2-tiered system of justice. We have one Department of Justice that goes after criminals regardless of party ideology. All of these folks were convicted under the administrations of 3 separate Republican attorneys general. It is not the fault of the FBI that Donald Trump surrounded himself with criminals. Donald Trump brought that upon himself. Thank you to the FBI for exposing the cesspool of corruption of these Trump associates.
Amen, Ted Lieu. These are all people who are basically hired and appointed by Donald Trump. These are attorney generals who are appointed by Donald Trump. These are people that Donald Trump hired within his own administration, whether it be his own personal attorney or campaign advisors like Roger Stone. They were convicted in courts of law. This is not a two-tier justice system. These are Republican-appointed judges, Republicans that are attorney general, appointed by Donald Trump. But yet the MAGAs out there will still claim that we have a two-tier justice system. Does that make any sense at all? And all the Republicans out there that are screaming to high heavens about Hunter Biden's laptop, and if they released all the information about Hunter Biden's laptop back in 2020, the election might have been different, and Joe Biden might have lost, and Donald Trump might have won. What is on that laptop? Naked pictures of Hunter Biden? Maybe he was doing some drugs. Maybe he hired some hookers. He's a private citizen. Oh, but Brian, he's the son of the President of the United States. So, did Joe Biden commit any crimes? 5 years, 6 years they've been investigating this laptop and they found nothing. And their whistleblower is an alleged spy who's running from the government. Oh, don't believe me? I want to play you a little audio of Eric Swalwell. By the way, all the conspiracy theories about him were proved to be lies as well. But he makes such a great point because the Republicans out there, their go-to, they don't want to talk about their policies. They don't want to talk about how they're going to change the country and make it better unless they talk about how they're going to deport everybody, right? Or they're going to ban abortion, which, by the way, over 60% of the country, Republicans and Democrats, do not agree with. Or how they're going to make sure that, they don't pass anything when it comes to gun legislation. They'll talk about those issues and drag queens reading books to kids. And they'll talk about Hunter Biden's laptop and how it might have cost Donald Trump the 2020 election because the FBI didn't release information about a private citizen. Well, you don't even hear it from me. I want you to hear it from Eric Swalwell in the House chambers because he just destroyed Republicans yesterday. Have a listen to this.
And we're only about an hour and a half in. The use of the word laptop about 20 times. In fact, in the chairman's opening statement, he said that he's upset that he believes the FBI prevented more Americans from learning about a private citizen's laptop. That is bananas to me. You all are bringing up FISA every single question. You're essentially saying to the American people that you're guardians of personal security and privacy, but the 2020 election was determined because the FBI didn't let more Americans see a private citizen's non-consensual nudes? Is that what we're saying here? That you lost the election not because of your ideas, but because a private citizen's laptop
Do you want an answer?
wasn't out there?
Will you yield?
That's bananas. You should be a party of ideas, not a party of non-consensual nudes to help you win an election.
Will you yield for an answer?
It seems like that is what the objection is here today. We should be talking about the mass shootings that occurred over the last 10 days. Instead, this hearing has turned into absolute chaos. And I yield back.
Time of the gentleman's expired. We bring up FISA because it's up for reauthorization, if the gentleman didn't know, at the end of this year.
There you go, Jim Jordan, who, by the way, hasn't passed a bill in his entire career. Gymnasium Jordan, who allegedly enabled children to be raped when he was a wrestling coach or an assistant wrestling coach, whatever the hell he was. And people out there are saying that Swalwell is the hack. Why is that? Swalwell's actually passed some bills to help people in this country. Can you name me one bill that Jim Jordan has ever passed? And by the way, Swalwell is right. He's correct with what he's saying. Whether you think he's a hack or not, He's correct. Republicans are obsessed with Hunter Biden's laptop. Again, let me point out, never been a politician before and is still not a politician, and he's not running for office. He is a private citizen. Let me repeat, a private citizen. So you think releasing pictures of him nude, hanging out with prostitutes would have changed the outcome of the 2020 election? But wait a second. I thought so many of you say that Trump won the election in a landslide anyway and believe the big lie. It's a joke. Maybe if you had, and I agree with Swalwell, maybe if you had some better policies, you didn't tell the woman what to do with her body, right? Maybe if you had a game plan on what to do with the border crisis or health care or people that are struggling in this country, raising minimum wage. Maybe if you actually had some policies that most of the country could be on board with, then maybe Donald Trump would have won the 2020 election. Maybe you would have had a better midterm result in 2022. You going to blame the Hunter Biden laptop for that as well? No. Let me be very clear. The reason why Republicans keep losing the popular vote, the reason why 6 out of the last 7 elections, is because they're not resonating with middle America. Most Americans in this country believe that people who are gay should be allowed to be married. Most people in this country believe in a woman's right to choose. Doesn't mean everybody believes that, but most people believe that, more than not, Republican and Democrat. Most people in this country believe that we need to do something to stop the gun violence in this country. Now, a lot of people have different solutions on the left for how we get there, but at least they're trying to come up with solutions. All I hear from Republicans is let's lock our doors and let's arm our kindergarten teachers. Most people in this country don't agree with that. Most people in this country believe in maternity leave. Most people in this country believe that there should be government programs out there to help people that are struggling. They believe in equality. They believe in giving a woman the right to choose. Now, I understand not everybody believes that, and that's fine. But if you want to know why Republicans are losing the popular vote and they had a really poor midterm, it's because they are preaching exactly what most of America does not believe in. And I just mentioned a few of those. And that's important. It's very important. And again, it seems like, what are Republicans talking about? They're not talking about transgenders. If they're not talking about people reading books to kids that are dressed in outfits that maybe some people don't approve because it's against their religion, they're talking about cocaine in the White House, and I want to play that audio for you next. So Monica Crawley, and I'm going to explain to you how obsessed they are. And it's really mind-boggling, the inconsistencies, because yesterday on Fox News, and this week Sean Hannity's been saying that he believes that it's a family member, with no evidence, by the way, to back that up, but Hannity believes that it's a family member that left the cocaine there. And again, let me repeat, with zero evidence to back up that opinion. Just like Donald Trump won the election in a landslide, just like Sean Hannity said Trump was full of crap, but he says it anyway, Hannity knows that he has absolute zero evidence to prove that there was a family member of Joe Biden that let cocaine and dropped off cocaine in the White House. He knows that that's not true. And then Monica Crawley is saying something completely different. Again, another right-wing hack. She's saying that it was a reporter that might have dropped the cocaine off. Have a listen to this.
The finger begins to point more and more at the obvious target.
And so many of the leftists in the media are laughing about this like it's some big joke, right? Because many of them probably do cocaine as well, right? So they're all excusing it.
Oftentimes in the Trump administration, we would sit members of the press who are meeting with the president in the press room. So if it's found in the press room, you'd think, okay, maybe the press who has access to this room. It wasn't found there. You can rule out the press.
Okay, so Monica Crawley on Fox News just said many of the Democrats do cocaine. And Kayleigh McEnany is saying that she believes it could have been a reporter that could have left the cocaine. Sean Hannity the next hour is saying that he believes that it was a family member that left the cocaine. So you have 3 different people that are saying 3 different things within an hour on Fox News. Very intelligent journalists at Fox News. Ton of credibility there. Maybe they'll say it was somebody from Dominion next that dropped off the cocaine. Maybe that's the possibility. I'm just showing you the inconsistencies and the garbage being put forth on some of these right-wing media TV shows. It's unbelievable and it's mesmerizing. And by the way, not one Democrat that I've heard has joked about this or think that it's funny. There's nothing funny about cocaine. There's nothing funny about cocaine being left in the White House. And by the way, if they find out who did it, I want that person to be persecuted. Nobody's laughing about this. What I'm laughing about is the way right-wing media is talking about it. Sean Hannity talking like he knows that it was Hunter Biden that left the cocaine there. It's absurd. He has no idea. Sean Hannity has the same idea of who left the cocaine at the White House like he does with his religion on whether there's heaven and hell. He has no idea. We all have no idea. We can have our opinions, but he has no idea. I go by facts and what is factually based. It is under investigation, and I am confident that they will find out who left the cocaine. I can't imagine that one of Joe Biden's family members was dumb enough to drop cocaine off in the White House. No, I don't think that happened. I think it was probably somebody that was maybe an intern or maybe somebody that, not a higher up. That's what I personally believe.
There was reports saying that they found it in a cubbyhole where all of the people that go on the tours.
Yes, and then the story has changed. The first story came out, did say that, and now they're saying it was found in a more secure area. It is under investigation. But instead of talking about, real issues facing the country, the fact that the frontrunner of the Republican Party sexually abuses women and facing dozens and dozens of felony counts, including possibly breaking the Espionage Act, Sean Hannity won't be talking about that. Kayleigh McEnany won't be talking about that. They're going to be talking about cocaine in the White House and how all Democrats take cocaine, according to Monica Crowley, because that's what she said, and Kayleigh McEnany talking about how it could have been a reporter that left it there. Well, geez, should I just give my opinions then? Maybe it was Matt Gaetz. I don't know. Maybe it was Donald Trump Jr. I mean, it's ridiculous. I wouldn't say things like that because it's absurd. We don't know. It's not funny. They're investigating it. And I have confidence that they'll find out who it was. It's not Hunter Biden. Cut the crap. It's so ridiculous. And Sean Hannity is so ridiculous. And I'm gonna prove it for you right now. Keep in mind, Donald Trump is facing 2 indictments, multiple felony counts. Just in the Stormy Daniels case alone, it's over 30 felony counts. And then the possible breaking of the Espionage Act. You can't really get more serious than that. There's more indictments coming. It doesn't end here, but I want to play you something that Sean Hannity said not that long ago when Hillary Clinton was running for office back in 2016. Here is Sean Hannity talking about Hillary Clinton running for president when she was under investigation. Listen to this.
So think about the magnitude of all of this for a second. Hillary Clinton could be sworn into office while still being under investigation from the FBI, which would then put this country into a major constitutional crisis. Now, Clinton says Donald Trump, he's not fit to serve in the Oval Office. But she, and she alone, has created a situation that could do severe damage to this country and the office of the presidency and prevent this country from solving problems. That means getting Americans back to work, fixing our broken educational system, fixing a broken healthcare system, fixing porous borders, vetting refugees. All of this needs to be done. Balancing a budget, stop robbing our kids.
So there's Sean Hannity making the case that because Hillary Clinton is under investigation, that she's not fit for office and she shouldn't be running for president of the United States. You hear any Republicans or echo chamber Republicans on Fox News saying that about Donald Trump? Because last I checked, Donald Trump is under multiple investigations. Did you ever hear Sean Hannity say Donald Trump not fit for office because he's under investigation? In fact, worse than being under investigation is Donald Trump was actually indicted twice. Oh, by the way, he was impeached twice as well, but let's just forget about that. Donald Trump actually has been charged with many crimes, but not even being investigated. He's still being investigated for other possible crimes. Do you see where I'm going at here? Hillary Clinton was never even indicted, never even charged with a crime. Donald Trump's already been charged. You ever hear Sean Hannity go on Fox News or any other of these right-wing echo chamber hosts on radio or television say, well, you know what? Maybe I don't want Donald Trump to run for office. Maybe he's unfit because he's facing like 50 felony counts. No. But they still want to talk about Hillary Clinton, who, by the way, is not a politician and she's not running for office. They want to talk about Hunter Biden, who has never been a politician and he's a private citizen, and they want to talk about his laptop. These are the talking points of Republicans today. And for those of you that might not understand what I'm talking about, I didn't say if you were charged with a crime, you are guilty. I am going by what Sean Hannity said. Just being investigated alone. Back in 2016, Hillary Clinton was being investigated. He said just because of that alone, she was unfit for office. Donald Trump is now more than being investigated for multiple crimes. He's actually been charged with crimes and continues to be investigated. How could anybody take anything that Sean Hannity says with any grain of salt, with any credibility at all? Because he is a biased buffoon. That's why. I'm going to open up the phone lines. What do you make of this? What do you make of Donald Trump calling the entire state of Nevada disgraceful, claiming that he won Nevada twice? What do you make of the hypocrisy of Sean Hannity and Fox News saying that Hillary Clinton was under investigation, so she's not fit for office? Well, Donald Trump's been more than under investigation. He continues to be under investigation because more indictments are coming. He's been indicted twice, facing very serious felony counts, including breaking the Espionage Act. Don't you think, forget about Sean Hannity, if anybody out there thinks that Hillary was unfit for office in 2016 because she was merely under investigation, then doesn't that apply to Donald Trump as well? Oh, but wait a second. It's a two-tier justice system, right? Well, I think Ted Lieu pretty much put that to bed because all the people that were convicted, many of them Trump appointees. Those are within Trump's inner circles, and the attorney general at that time and the attorney generals at that time were also all Republicans appointed by Donald Trump. So no, maybe it's not a two-tier justice system. Maybe that's just an excuse for the alleged crimes that your Lord and Savior, Donald Trump, has committed. I'm opening up the phone line, 702-221-7283. And again, that number if you want to be a part of the conversation, 702-221-7283, 702-221-SAVE, even though I can't save all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I can't promise to do that. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. We'll take your phone calls on the other side. We'll take a quick break. And also, when we come back, Tommy Tuberville is now admitting that white nationalism might be racism. Yes, he finally admitted it today. But why did he wait till this long? Why is he doing it now? We'll talk about that when we come back. Take a quick break. Be back right after this. Give us a call, 221-7283, 702-221-7283. Be back right after this. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premier Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Buying or selling a home is a huge life event that requires guidance from an expert in the industry and community. My name is Blake Wynn. You may recognize my name as my grandfather was the best governor the state of Nevada has ever had. Growing up in Las Vegas, I've come to know this community intricately. Now, I am raising a family here as well, so I understand all the issues impacting our home and quality of life. As the top realtor for the #1 real estate team at Keller Williams, you can have confidence in my experience, knowledge, and track record. When it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate, choose a name you can trust and someone who understands the community you call home. Call Blake Wynn today and experience the difference of a trusted expert. 702-582-5500. 540-3311.
Sapphire Pool and Day Club, the world's only topless gentlemen's day club, introduces its 2023 pool season lineup with a bevy of beauties and social media celebrities throughout the summer who will all host alongside hundreds of Sapphire's topless poolside entertainers. Enjoy brunch in the sun with items like frittata-style omelets, stripping chicken, and French kiss toast before washing it down with signature summertime cocktails. 10 lines beware. Go Bear! Ladies are welcome to go topless within the day club for the ultimate party. Guests can purchase affordable day bed packages, cabana packages, lounge chairs, and more. The best part though? Pushing the Limits will be broadcasting shows every other Friday throughout the pool season with a ton of surprise celebrity guests. Wow! Reserve your spot now. For more info, visit sapphirepoolLV.com or call 702-869-0003. That's 702-869-0003. See you at Sapphire.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits. I want to tell you guys about Sahara West Urgent Care and Wellness. They're conveniently located on the southwest corner of Sahara and Jones. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At Sahara West Urgent Care, they'll take care of all your healthcare needs. They offer routine services such as physicals, STD testing, car accident treatment, and work injuries. You name it, they do it. They have on-site x-ray, EKG, ultrasound, and labs. They treat chronic conditions such as asthma, blood pressure, diabetes, and more. They also offer general wellness exams, treatments such as testosterone enhancement and cancer screening. They're located on Sahara, 6125 West Sahara Avenue. Their number is 702-248-0554. And the best part, they accept most major insurances and affordable cash pay prices, office visits starting at just $95. And I'm also a client, so please give them a call, 702-248-0554.
The best choice for convenience, comfort, and value, My Place hotels are ideal for both short-term and long-term travelers. The rooms at My Place features pillow-top mattresses, microfiber bedding, and a variety of soft and firm pillows. All extended stay rooms offer their own kitchen, which includes a full-size refrigerator and a cooktop. On-site laundry facilities are also available for extended stays at pet-friendly My Place hotels. Book your stays online at myplacehotels.com. My Place Hotels, St. George and West Jordan, Utah. Make My Place your place.
Shopping is always easy with the Radio Shopping Show. Whether it's shopping during any one of our live shows right here on AM 1400 or listening live on the KSHP app, you can always call in at 702-221-7283 to pick up great deals with your favorite host. Or shop 24/7 at kshp.com. Go to kshp.com and select Shopper's Guide to browse hundreds of businesses featured on the show. Place your order online and we'll have it shipped right to your front door. With so many possibilities, it's hard not to shop.
All right, welcome back. I want to give a shout out to my friends over at Sahara West Urgent and Primary Care, located at 6125 West Sahara Avenue. No appointment needed. I was in and out of there in 20 minutes. They take most insurances, and if you don't have insurance, it's only $95. Sahara West Urgent and Primary Care. Give them a call at 702-248-0554, and you can also visit them online at SaharaWestUrgentCare.com. I also promised you guys I would take some phone calls at 702-221-7283. And again, that number is 702-221-7283. We were talking a little bit about Donald Trump and his visit to Las Vegas and attacking the entire state of Nevada, saying he won here twice and the state of Nevada was disgraceful. I want to, before I get to phone calls, I want to switch topics here real quickly, if I may. And I want to talk about Representative Republican, of course, Tommy Tuberville. For the last several months, really, and years, Tommy Tuberville has defended white nationalism. So what is white nationalism? What exactly is white nationalism, and what does it mean? Well, you know, you can do some research on this as I did, and I'll tell you what it is. For the most part, white nationalism is defined as believing that your race is the superior race to everywhere else in the world, in this case being white. It is the belief, which I don't have, by the way, that if you are white, you are superior than any other race out there. That is what white nationalism is. Now, some that call themselves white nationalists might say they disagree with you, and they will say, some of them would say that they're not racist, but The viewpoints of white nationalism are to the contrary. White nationalism is racism, and if you don't believe me, you could look it up yourself. It's not just Democrats that are saying that, or independents, Republicans as well. White nationalism is racism. I don't know what other way to put it. If you believe that your race is superior to every other race, it's just like if you believe your religious beliefs are superior to everybody else, other else's religious beliefs, then that's bigotry, isn't it? Or racism in this aspect. That's what white nationalism is. White nationalism is racism. And even those in the GOP, some of them, have called out Tuberville's comments and said there's no place for white nationalism within the Republican Party. By the way, I applaud them for doing that. They're saying the right thing. So Tommy Tuberville did this interview with Caitlin Collins on CNN a few days ago, and we played a little bit of it yesterday, where he's just refusing to denounce white nationalism. He says he's against racism, but he won't denounce white nationalism. And he was pressed on it by Caitlin Collins, just refused to do so. All he had to say was, yeah, white nationalism is based on racist beliefs, and I'm not for it. That's all he had to say. But why didn't he say that? Because we saw the true Tommy Tuberville. He might be a white nationalist himself. And then yesterday, he was also pressed on the issue, and I want to play a little bit of audio for you on this. This is a reporter pressing Tommy Tuberville. This is just yesterday on white nationalism. I want you to have a listen to this exchange.
Can you explain why you continue to insist that white nationalists are American?
Listen, I'm totally against racism. And if the Democrats want to say that white nationalists are racist, I'm totally against that too.
But that's not a Democratic definition. The definition of a white nationalist is someone.
My definition.
It is the definition.
Bad.
The definition. The definition is that the belief that the white race is superior to all other races.
Totally out of the question.
So, do you believe that white nationalists are racist?
Yes, if that's what a racist is, yes. Thank you.
But that is the definition. Can you explain why you continue?
Okay, so what she said, the reporter, and she's 100% right. And then some people that are defending Tommy Tuberville say, well, listen, he denounced racism, of course. What person is publicly going to say racism is okay? That's the end of your campaign. It's the end of your run for office. It's the end of you being in power if you make a statement like that. The key in that exchange, and by the way, that was just less than 24 hours ago. The key in that exchange is even after that CNN disgrace of an interview that he did, where he refused to denounce white nationalism, he doubles down on it again and is refusing to say that white nationalism in and itself is racism, is racist. And that reporter, again, is 100% right. It's the basis of my race is better than yours. We have the superior race. That's what hatred and bigotry is, and that's what racism is, right? So this morning, after getting a lot of heat from not just Democrats, liberals, and independents, not just members of the media, not just on social media, he was getting heat from those that are in the GOP. So he told reporters, white nationalists are racist. He made that claim. But my question is, why didn't you say that 2 days ago? Why didn't you say that a week ago? Why didn't you say that a month ago? Why did it take you this long to admit that white nationalism and white nationalists are racist? Maybe, and I'm just throwing this out there, maybe Tuberville is a racist himself. Maybe he doesn't want to offend people like the Proud Boys or right-wing extremist groups that I would imagine voted for him. And it reminded me of a moment during a presidential election. Remember Donald Trump on a presidential stage in a debate with Joe Biden when he was asked to not only denounce white supremacy, but to denounce hate groups like the Proud Boys. And what did he say? He stand back and stand by. Instead of saying, if you're a member of the Proud Boys, if you're a member of a hate group, I denounce it. I denounce all hate groups like the Proud Boys. But Donald Trump didn't do that because he wanted their votes, because he knows he has their votes. That's why. I believe that's probably what Tommy Tuberville is doing as well. So I'm going to open up the phone lines on this. Maybe you think I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe you think there's nothing wrong with white nationalists. Maybe you think there's nothing wrong with believing that your race is the superior race to all others. If you feel that way, you can call in. I'll hear you out. If you want to defend Tommy Tuberville, I'll hear you out. Or do you agree with me that Tommy Tuberville is wrong and that if he's representing his constituents, no matter who they are, he should call out what white nationalism is, which is racism? 702-221-7283 is the number to call. And again, if you want to be a part of the program, 702-221-7283. Let's start off with Edward. Edward is first up on Pushing the Limits. Hi, Edward.
Hey, what's going on, Brian?
Not much, man.
Raising blood pressure again, I see.
Always, my friend.
Hey, man, I was going to tell you, I was in Houston yesterday, and I drove by Joel Osteen's church, and I gave him half a peace sign for you, by the way.
Good. He deserves it.
So,
he deserves
I want to let you know that.
Good, I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I think we agree on him in particular. But, I had a little bit of time to think last time we talked, and I called in. And, Brian, I was thinking, I'm getting to that point in my life where I don't care about all these politicians and everything. Going through my situation, I'm caring about my neighbor and my family and myself. You know what I mean? And trying to just be a better person.
So I agree. So I applaud that, and I agree with you. But you have to agree with me that many of these politicians have huge platforms, and they have a lot of followers that go along with them. So if you have somebody like Tommy Tuberville, who is not willing to call out white nationalism, when anybody who is not a racist knows what white nationalism is and what it stands for, I think that's problematic. And in a way, it's defending a racist, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course.
And that's my problem. And I applaud you in saying, hey, I want to take care of my family, my friends, my neighbors. I think that's a great viewpoint, and that's great to look at it. The problem I have is not everybody thinks like you. And there are a lot of people out there that are persuaded by an Alex Jones or a Donald Trump or a Tommy Tuberville. And
Rush Limbaugh.
Exactly. Rush Limbaugh was,
Yeah.
I know he passed away of cancer, but I believe he had cancer way before he was diagnosed with it, because he was a cancer, in my opinion, to society. He spread racism, bigotry, and hatred.
Oh, yeah, hate.
And the person that gives him the Medal of Honor is Donald Trump, and I don't think we should be surprised by that.
And, I was going to go, I think just for right now, it's like a running joke with the Hunter Biden cocaine thing. I think that's just a running joke. It's going to just play along for a little bit, and then something else will pop up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely
it just seems like
you are right, and you're
people,
right.
People are focusing on that, like, oh my God, it's a joke, blah blah blah. Honestly, who cares?
I agree. A private citizen that has had his substance abuse issues. They've investigated Joe Biden and Hunter Biden for 6 years, and the Republicans come up with nothing. Edward, I got to get some other calls, my friend. Thank you for flipping the bird to that man. I appreciate that, and you're my hero. You're as Donald Trump would say, or no, as Sean Hannity would say, Edward, you're a patriot. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, right. Thanks.
Thanks, Edward.
Yeah, right. Later. Have a great one.
Take care, buddy.
Bye.
Joel Osteen. Wow, he flipped the bird to Joel Osteen. How about that? The number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation, people keep asking me on social media, 702-221-7283. I think I put it on the description in social media. If you want to call into the show, it's 702-221-SAVE, 702-221-7283, and you're welcome to call in. Let's go to Rick. Rick is next on Pushing the Limits. What's up, Rick?
Hi, Rick. Brian, first time
Wait,
caller.
what do you mean,
Thanks for
hi, Rick?
me.
Wait, you're Rick. I'm Brian. We're very confused.
Oh, wait, I'm Rick. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah.
I'm
you're
sorry.
Rick. Okay,
I'm a little nervous there.
Listen, you can call me. You can call me whatever you want, sir. I've been called worse.
I'm sorry. I'm just a little nervous.
That's
I'm sorry.
okay.
You're Brian Shapiro. I'm Rick.
That is me.
First time caller, and thanks for correcting me.
Sure, no problem.
And first thing I want to say is with the name of Shapiro, you're up here. I assume you're Jewish.
You would assume correctly, sir. I'm not a practicing Jew, though. I mean, I eat a lot. I had so much bacon at the Aces game yesterday, you wouldn't believe.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Wouldn't you want, the Jews to be the best, So I don't see why there's a problem.
I want everybody to be the best person they can be, but I don't look at people and say, hey, because I'm Jewish, I'm better than you, because that would be ridiculous.
Well, but don't you think that being a white guy also, we'd want the whites to be the master race, if you will?
No, I don't. I disagree with you. I really disagree with you. I don't feel that way at all.
Okay.
I want every race and every religion to be their best. I don't care what the color of your skin is. I don't care what your religion is. I want everybody to be as good as they can be, and I don't look at somebody and say, well, you're white or you're black, so you're better than me or you're worse than me. Because that's exactly what white nationalism is, and I am I'm completely against that. That's hate speech and it's bigotry. It's just like somebody talking about transgenders or, a drag queens and thinking that you're better than them because they're different than you. And I just don't hold those beliefs because I think that's the definition of a bigot.
Well, aren't you, when it comes to the White House, aren't you glad that it was white cocaine that was found in there, not, black tar heroin?
No, I'm not. I see where you're going with that. Cocaine is cocaine. Heroin is heroin. It's not like they found cigarettes in the White House. It's not like they found some tobacco. It's serious. It should never be anywhere in society, especially in the White House. So I want them to investigate it. I don't care what the color of the drug was, but I don't know if you're being facetious there or not. Can I ask you a question, Rick, if I may?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you consider yourself a white nationalist?
I consider myself a white guy, and why would I not want the whites to be the best?
Do you consider your race to be better than other races?
I would like it to be, yes, and I think it is.
So you believe that you being white, you're better than other races? Is that what I'm trying to get you to admit that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm not going to say the word nationalist, but you're on the right. You're on the right trail there, Brian.
May I ask you another question?
Absolutely.
And do you promise to answer it honestly?
I will answer it honestly.
Have you ever been to a Klan meeting before?
Yeah, I have never been to a Klan meeting. No.
You've never. Has anyone ever called you Grand Wizard Rick before in your life?
No. I've never been to a meeting. I've never been called that before. But
okay, it's okay to be.
If I was black,
yeah, go ahead.
If I was a black guy, right, I want the blacks to be the best. If I was
okay, that's okay.
A Russian, I want the Russian.
Okay.
But see, I'm white, so I want the whites to be the best, Brian.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be the best. The problem I have with your opinions is you're claiming that you basically just admitted it, that you believe your race, the race of white people, are better than other people because of the color of your skin. Why not just want everybody to be the best? Why do you have to say only white people? That's why I asked you those questions. And by the way, I was being serious. I'm glad to hear you've never been called a Grand Wizard, and I'm glad to hear you've never been hanging out with David Duke. I'm happy to hear that. But when you say that you believe that your race is the superior race, do you understand how that could be perceived as racism or bigotry?
Well, I mean, I understand it, but on the other hand, I'm okay with that, with people thinking that or knowing that about me. A lot of my friends are obviously white people, and when we talk about things and when we discuss things, we want to be the best.
Let me ask you another question, if I may. Let's continue this.
Yeah.
How many
And then I got a
contacts?
question.
Okay, fine. How many contacts would you say you have in your cell phone, on average?
In my cell phone?
Yeah, like 300, 200, 400, 500.
No, like 75.
Out of those, wow, that's not a lot. I'm just amazed that you only have 75 people in your phone because you sound like a great guy. Out of those 75 people, how many people are black?
0.
So you have 0 contacts that are black in your cell phone. Why is that? Is that a coincidence? Or is it because you think the white race is the superior race?
You know what? I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but I don't know very.
So it could be racist tendencies or biased tendencies that you don't like black people.
But where I live, I'm in, there's not a lot of blacks, and I don't really know any. So I guess if there were and I knew some, I'd have them in there. But
okay, I'm glad you admitted that. So how can you admit that the white race is the superior race when you don't even know any black people? How could you make that assumption? Wouldn't you say that's an assumption? You don't even have any personal relationships with black people, and you just admitted to me that you don't even have one black person in your contacts in your cell phone. So how could you assume that white people are the superior race when you haven't even developed relationships with black people?
Well, Brian, again, if this is how I grew up, if I don't know any black people, what am I supposed to do?
Maybe try to develop relationships with black people? I don't know. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but where are you from? Where are you from, by the way?
So are you telling me, Brian, that you would date black women or guys? I don't know what you're.
I'm not telling you that. Yeah, I have, and I have no problem with it. I think black women are beautiful.
Guys or girls? I'm sorry.
Well,
what
that's
about Joey?
okay. So
You-
now you're
you
making
like-
now you're
are you
making
think-
a
are you
now
dating black guys?
now you're making a homophobic comment. But I'm shocked to hear that
Well,
somebody
no,
who
I'm
is
I'm just asking you.
Well, I know, and I'm just telling you, I'm shocked to hear that somebody who is a white nationalist, which I believe you are, would also make a homophobic comment and not like gay people. And I'm surprised you would say that. What a shock!
I didn't say I didn't like. I didn't say I didn't like gay people. But what I'm trying to do is come around because that's a thing now. Guys and guys and girls and girls.
What do you
and,
mean it's
you
a?
know,
What do you mean it's?
and then there's all
what do you
different
mean it's?
pronouns.
What do you?
and I'm trying to
What do you mean it's a
get hip.
thing? What do you mean it's a thing now? Are you serious? You don't think there were gay people around 20 or 40 years ago? What do you mean it's a thing now? What is
Well,
that
what I'm
supposed
saying
to mean?
is that more
What
and
are
more
you saying?
now, more and more now, you hear different things about the different pronouns. I'm sure there was gays back, 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, I would say
But,
you're
the
probably
whole
right on
thing-
that. Yes.
But I was saying that the whole thing with the pronouns, right, and that the whole trans thing, wasn't really relevant till the last couple of years. So I'm trying to come around on it. So I'm just saying, hey, you might like guys. If you like guys, then I'd ask you if you dated black guys.
I have
If
never
you
dated
just
a
like
black
women,
man.
then-
No, black women are more my style. Yes, is that okay with you?
Oh, no, that's fine. I was just trying to figure out if
Have
if
you
like
ever
guys
dated
or
a black
girls.
guy? Have you ever dated a black guy?
No,
Oh, you
we've already established that. I don't know
Well,
any.
we didn't establish that. Oh, that's true. That you're right. I stand corrected. You have no interaction with black people. Where are you from?
That's correct.
How is that possible? Where are you from?
It doesn't really matter where I'm from,
Well,
does
it
it?
kind of does. Where did you grow up? Did you live next door to Lauren Boebert? Where are you from? I want to know where you.
I don't know who's Lauren Boebert. I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay. Well, that's somebody that I think would align with you politically. That you guys seem to. I think you guys have a similar education. I could be wrong on that. I don't know.
So how do you spell?
What's that?
How do you spell the last name? How do you spell that Boebert?
I'll tell you what. Just Google dum-dums in office, and she'll be the first one on the list. I promise you that. Maybe right.
All right. Well,
yeah. Maybe
I
right
promise
next
you
to
that
Marjorie. Yeah. Can you do me a favor?
yeah,
Here's what I want you to do.
I'll look them up.
I want
Yes,
you. I
yes,
want
Brian.
you to develop a relationship with somebody black in the next week. Start conversation, and then call me back next week and tell me if you still believe that your race is the superior race. How about that? Can we try that? Can we try a social experiment? Can I try to change you?
That's fine. Will they allow me on the air next week?
Yeah. Why? Why wouldn't you be on the air? I don't understand. You can call
I
back
just
my
wanna
show
make-
anytime.
All right. Well, I will go out and I will try to find myself one black person.
Yes.
And
Start
I
with one.
will. I will start to conversate with them, and after we conversate, I'll get back to you.
Okay. Now, I love that idea. I want you to call back next week, Rick. And I was going to say good luck at your clan meeting tonight, but my understanding is you've never been to one, so I'm happy to hear that, and that's why you're welcome to call back. Okay? Fair enough?
Well, I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate that. And good luck with your developing a relationship with one black person in your life. I'm proud of you. Wow. Was that even for real? I am mesmerized right now. That guy doesn't have one contact in his phone. Not one. Not one. By the way, I was told just now that that's the same guy who called into another show. And I guess he was... maybe he was told not to call back into that show. I don't know. Do we have any? 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Josh. Josh is next. Hello, Josh. Wow, that call was mesmerizing. Hi, Josh.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm a little flustered with that last call, but I'm doing okay. What's up, Josh?
Well, I'm going to break all the stereotypes here. I'm a white man from Alabama.
Okay.
I voted for Obama the first term.
Yep.
And he promised no more war, all that stuff, hope and change, and we didn't get it. So I kind of wised up and stopped voting after that. But
okay.
Yes, I have dated a beautiful black girl when I was in my teenage years.
Yes.
And also, out of 70 contacts in my phone, I probably have 20 black people in there.
And
so
I'm happy to hear that. Let me ask you a question. I'm happy to hear that. You sound like and by the way, there's nothing wrong with changing your vote. I didn't even vote for Barack Obama, believe it or not. So there's nothing wrong with that. I want to ask you this, though. What do you think about the Tommy Tuberville story? And do you believe that white nationalists are racist? What are your thoughts on that?
really, it depends on how you look at the terminology and the intention behind it. I'm a white man and I believe in my nation, so by definition, I guess that could be considered that, but I don't see my race as superior because your skin is just another organ. You know, we don't all have same characteristics.
Right.
So if you look at the skin as some special thing, I think you're in the wrong there. But Tommy Tuberville was a coach for college football out here in Alabama, and you know how Alabama's all about the roll tide and
correct.
You know that whole circus. So I'm not part of that, and that was part of my decision really not to vote for anyone because I saw the kind of the clout behind it, you know?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. Listen, I don't know what's in Tommy Tuberville's heart. What I do know is that his answers on CNN and the things he said about white nationalism over the last couple of days have been ignorant, and I guess he finally owned it and admitted that white nationalists are racist. Now, there's nothing wrong with being proud of who you are or where you came from. But what you just said makes you not a white nationalist because you just openly admitted that you don't believe the white race is the superior race. And that's what makes you not a racist when you make a statement like that. That's a normal statement that I think most people would make. I want to ask you another question. Since you're in Alabama, what do folks in Alabama think about Donald Trump? What do they think about Joe Biden? And what do they think about where the country's headed?
I'm not really very social in a lot of circles, but the people I surround myself with pretty much know that the Democratic side is trying to take a lot of, you know, constitutional rights, and to them, the lesser of the two evils is Donald Trump. I mean, I truly believe myself that Donald Trump was a product of the American people getting tired of government corruption.
Okay, so
that's the only way Donald Trump was a...
Understood.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you, because I want to stop you, because I want to ask what you just said, because this is interesting to me. Can you name me a policy or something that Democrats in office have implemented that are, quote, taking your rights away? Like, what is the one thing that you say, Democrats are taking my right away to do this? What would it be? I just want to know.
I mean, the hearings we've had recently about the weaponization of the government is a fine example, and I'll just leave that to you.
Well, no, but let's go with that because
but I want
to hear from you. I want you to be specific. How are Democrats weaponizing the government? Be specific, because this is important.
Okay, the two Twitter file journalists that had FBI agents show up at their house. That's, you know.
Okay, so the reason why
that's the First Amendment.
But no, it's not. The First Amendment does not apply to private business. Twitter is a private business. You don't have the ability to say and act whatever you want when it pertains to a private business. Example: if you walked into a restaurant and you said, "I don't know, I hate white people." Now I know you wouldn't do that. I'm just saying that as an example. The business owner would not say, well, I have to leave him in my store because it pertains to the First Amendment. No, the business owner, if he was smart, would kick you out because it's bad for his business. Same thing with Twitter.
But why is the government involved in the business affairs and then using the power of the government to persecute people with a counter-narrative?
Sure, good question. Because when you threaten somebody on social media, could be a politician, when you threaten somebody and use abusive language or make threats, the FBI can come knocking on your door because they have to investigate and you could be breaking the law. Now, if you go on Twitter and you make a racist statement, Twitter can ban you, but I don't think the FBI is going to be knocking on your door. But if you go on Twitter and say you're going to kill somebody, that's not a First Amendment right. There are always consequences for your actions. And with all due respect, sir, because I'm enjoying this conversation, but the First Amendment pertains to the government. It doesn't pertain to private business. You mentioned Twitter. Example, I can go on a public sidewalk and say, you know, I hate the orange man, Donald Trump. Or I could put up a sign that says something racist. Now, I wouldn't do that because I'm not a racist. But you could do that because you're right. That's the First Amendment. You have the right to do that on a public sidewalk. But when it pertains to private business, the First Amendment's out the door. There are consequences for your actions and your words. And again, the First Amendment pertains to the government. It doesn't pertain to private business. So let me ask you again, because this is very important, because I want to understand why you won't vote for a Democrat and you're saying they're taking your rights away. Can you give me another?
I never said I wouldn't vote for a Democrat.
Okay, then I
said I don't vote anymore.
Understood.
Because nobody, in my perspective, has my tax dollars what my idea of my tax dollars should be going to.
Understood.
They don't have my interest in mind.
Understood. And then I correct myself. That's my fault. But you did say that you feel like Democrats are taking your rights away. You still have your First Amendment rights, so I'm not sure why you would say that.
Okay, well, let's go to the Second Amendment then, where they're saying that a pistol stabilizer makes it a dangerous weapon, and the ATF just suddenly passed laws out of nowhere and made I forget what it's called, arm braces for pistols illegal.
Right, so
And
here's the thing.
That's a slow infringement on our rights.
Okay, so
that's how I see it.
Okay, so you still have the right to buy a gun, and you still have a right to defend yourself, as the Constitution says, the right to bear arms. With that also comes responsibility, and when the Constitution was written, we had something called muskets. I'm sure you would agree with me that technology changes, and there are a lot of weapons out there that can cause a lot of harm, and some of these weapons you don't necessarily need to defend yourself, but Democrats have not said you don't have the right to bear arms, sir, right? If you're not a felon, you're a law-abiding citizen, you have the right to buy a gun. What they're trying to do is they're not getting rid of the Second Amendment. They're trying to do what they did in the early 90s and get an assault weapons ban in place. But you would still have the right to bear arms. So how is that taking your right away to defend yourself?
Because it's just going to continue until your rights are gone. It's obvious.
So you think if they put in an assault weapons ban, then a couple of years later they're going to ban all guns? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, can you buy a gun in certain cities right now?
Can you buy a gun in certain
Can you
cities
buy a
right
gun?
now?
Can you purchase a weapon in any city in America right now?
Yes, you can. If you're a law-abiding citizen and you're not a felon, any individual with a background check can purchase a weapon to defend themselves. There is not one
And
city.
then you can openly carry said weapon around.
Okay, so now you're talking about something completely different, which is open carry.
No, it says right to bear arms. It doesn't have any more information beyond that.
Yeah.
I understand that you're trying to say as we've evolved, our Constitution should evolve, but it was put there in place for the citizens to protect themselves.
Right, and
So
I just
whenever
told
you
you,
go-
and I just told you, you can go into any city in this country and buy a gun if you're a law-abiding citizen. So again, I'm trying to figure out how you're explaining that Democrats are taking your rights away when I've given you examples. Literally, any city in this country, you have the right to purchase a gun. Now, I understand you disagree with what Democrats are trying to implement, and the reason why they're doing that is because they don't want to take your rights away. They're trying to come up with ways to lower the gun violence, which is higher in this country than any other country in the world.
Yep. Well, I mean, if I was to vote, I would vote for RFK. So.
Okay.
But I'm sure you have something to say about him being crazy or vaccine denier or something.
Who? You're talking about who? Robert F. Kennedy? Is that?
Yes.
Well, I could certainly share my opinions on that, but I definitely appreciate the phone call, sir, and thank you for listening in Alabama. I appreciate you, sir, and a good conversation. Doesn't mean we have to agree on everything, but I'm sure you would agree with me, and that's what makes our country great. So I do appreciate your call, sir. Thank you very much. Yes. In regards to Robert Kennedy, yes, he is a vaccine denier, a guy with zero medical expertise that spreads Alex Jones conspiracy theories. That's a guy that I would never vote for. And I don't get my medical information from people like that. Conspiracy theorists. That's what Robert Kennedy is. He's a conspiracy theorist. So yes, to answer your question, I do have something to say about him. There's a reason why people like Steve Bannon and those on the extreme right, like Charlie Kirk, want Kennedy to run for office because they know that he's bad for Democrats and good for Republicans, which I believe is bad for America. All right, we got some more phone callers on the other side, so we're going to take a quick break. We got a few on hold, so 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you want to be a part of the conversation, now's the time. We'll get to calls on the other side. Again, that number, 702-221-7283. Take a quick break. Be back right after this.
KSHP North Las Vegas, 107.1 FM, 1400 AM, K29 6HP North Las Vegas, and online at kshp.com.
Hey everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premier Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Buying or selling a home is a huge life event that requires guidance from an expert in the industry and community. My name is Blake Wynn. You may recognize my name as my grandfather was the best governor the state of Nevada has ever had. Growing up in Las Vegas, I've come to know this community intricately. Now, I am raising a family here as well. So I understand all the issues impacting our home and quality of life. As the top realtor for the #1 real estate team at Keller Williams, you can have confidence in my experience, knowledge, and track record. When it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate, choose a name you can trust and someone who understands the community you call home. Call Blake Wynn today and experience the difference of a trusted expert. 702-540-3311.
Sapphire Pool and Day Club, the world's only topless gentlemen's day club, introduces its 2023 pool season lineup with a bevy of beauties and social media celebrities throughout the summer who will all host alongside hundreds of Sapphire's topless poolside entertainers. Enjoy brunch in the sun with items like frittata-style omelets, stripping chicken, and French kiss toast before washing it down with signature summertime cocktails. 10 lines, beware. Go Bear! Ladies are welcome to go topless within the day club for the ultimate party. Guests can purchase affordable day bed packages, cabana packages, lounge chairs, and more. The best part though? Pushing the Limits will be broadcasting shows every other Friday throughout the pool season with a ton of surprise celebrity guests. Wow! Reserve your spot now. For more info, visit SapphirePoolLV.com or call 702-869-0003. That's 702-869-0003. See you at Sapphire.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits. I want to tell you guys about Sahara West Urgent Care and Wellness. They're conveniently located on the southwest corner of Sahara and Jones. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At Sahara West Urgent Care, they'll take care of all your healthcare needs. They offer routine services such as physicals, STD testing, car accident treatment, and work injuries. You name it, they do it. They have on-site x-ray, EKG, ultrasound, and labs. They treat chronic conditions such as asthma, blood pressure, diabetes, and more. They also offer general wellness exams, treatments such as testosterone enhancement, and cancer screening. They're located on Sahara, 6125 West Sahara Avenue. Their number is 702-248-0554. And the best part, they accept most major insurances and affordable cash pay prices. Office visits starting at just $95. And I'm also a client, so please give them a call, 702-248-0554. All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us. My parents are actually moving out to Vegas, in case anybody cares. They're coming out here in a couple weeks, and I called my good friend Blake Wynn with Keller Williams, because if you're buying or selling a home, he's the go-to guy. Had a conversation with my family. They're convinced. They're coming out here in a couple weeks. They're going to be buying a home, and thanks to Blake Wynn with Keller Williams. His grandfather was the governor here. He grew up here his entire life. That's the kind of person you want when it comes to buying or selling. I want you to give Blake a call. He'll take care of you, and if you mention the name of the show, you'll save some money, too. You'll get a discount. Here's his number, 702-540-3311. Again, call Blake Wynn with Keller Williams Group, buying or selling a home, 702-540-3311. I also gave out the number of the show, giving out a lot of numbers today. We're talking about white nationalism, Tommy Tuberville, and we had some interesting calls in the first hour, to say the least. I'm sure they'll continue to be interesting, which is okay. It's good radio. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Why don't we do that? Why don't we get right to the phone calls? And I believe next up on Pushing the Limits, he's been waiting very patiently on hold, is Damon. Damon is next. Hi, Damon. Thanks for calling in, my man. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, Brian? I'm calling to volunteer to be his first black friend.
We'll make sure to get on that. Maybe we could both have you on the line at the same time. That'd be good. Maybe it's the first black person he's ever spoken to. I don't know.
That's fine, Brian. I will school him. And if he wants to test supremacy, we can do whatever he wants to do. IQ test, physical, anything he wants to do, we can do. We can whip him out to see who's bigger, whatever. But if he wants to see who's superior, we can see. But I think that's a person-to-person thing. I don't think one race is better than the other. We're all the same people. And we just come in different shapes.
Yes.
That's the only difference. But the last guy that you had on, they conveniently forget when it comes to the Second Amendment, they stop at the right to bear arms. It's a whole lot behind that about a real regulated militia. And the Supreme Court justice back in the 70s, if you Google it, he'll tell you about how it's the biggest fraud ever perpetrated on the American public ever, is that you have the right to bear arms. That's a fallacy. So it's just
they forget a lot of things.
The
They also forget that the First Amendment only pertains to the government. It doesn't pertain to private business or private property. They forget about that. They also don't understand that your words have, while you do have the First Amendment right, your words do always have consequences. Your actions have consequences, and your words have. For example, you can go on a public sidewalk and you could hold up a racist sign that says, "I hate a certain race," but chances are your employer will probably fire you. Well, that's my First Amendment right. Doesn't matter. You don't represent our company properly. They forget about that as well. And then you're right. When they talk about the Second Amendment, they want to talk about the right to bear arms. Back in the day when the Constitution was written, when we had something called muskets, I haven't heard of more than 60 people being killed in a mass shooting at the hands of a musket. You know, they're called assault weapons, and they forget about that as well.
Right. Exactly. It's just it's a circle they run in, and the guy said that he'd vote for Kennedy. That was the funniest joke I've heard all year. That guy is presidential.
That guy's a clown.
He's the dude.
He's a clown.
He went to Oxford, and he tried to come off as a country bumpkin, though, so he can get elected.
The guy's
but he
a clown.
went to Oxford.
Yeah, he's a clown, and he has. Do you want to put Rick on the line? Hey, Damon, would you mind if we put Rick on the line with you right now?
Oh, Brian, I wish I could, man. I got a patient. Hey, Sammy. Yeah,
He's on the line right now. Rick, are you there? Are you there, Rick?
Hello, I'm Rick. It's Rick. Yeah, hi.
Rick, say hello to Damon, real quick.
I'm sorry. Date? What was the name?
Damon.
Damon, like the man.
Hello,
it's pronounced the man.
The man?
Mm-hmm. You can
the
call
man?
Mm-hmm.
DAMOND?
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Oh, well, hello.
You guys keep talking. Yeah, Damon, can you preach to him, please?
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, why is it you haven't had any black friends? You never was around black people in school or church or at work? There's never been anybody in your vicinity?
Well, that's correct. You know, where I grew up and where I live, there's zero, and not really a big religious guy, so I'd never gone to church or any of that. So I never really had an opportunity to meet anybody or get together. I mean, you appear to be, quite a young, nice young man. And I don't have anything against you. I'm sure that your penis is probably larger, so I don't want to do any of that kind of stuff.
Whoa. There's no reason to say that now. Come on. That's a good stereotype, but it's a stereotype.
Yeah, it is.
He
a true one, though.
mentioned
It's a true one,
out,
but it is a stereotype.
All right. So Rick, is it possible that you maybe could have a drink with Damon? Is it possible that you guys could get to know one another? Is that possible?
Does he drink Bud Light?
No. I thought I did Bud Light with the transgender thing.
I'm sorry, you broke up on me. What was that? What did he say?
That was a joke. No, I drink Heineken, man.
He's a nice young man, but I don't
here's
know.
what I want. I want you guys to call in next week when Damon has a little bit more time. I don't want to keep him away from his work. But Rick, I'm glad you've had some interaction with somebody that's black now. It's a good start. And Damon, I think we can work on Rick. We can work on him.
Okay, definitely. Damon, I want to get the borderlines. We're trying to catch the borderlines, man.
Yes.
Damon, it's been nice talking with you, Damon. I've never had this opportunity before, and you seem like a nice young man. I don't know at this point if I'd want to go out with you yet in public, but, we can work up to that.
Wow. All right.
Hey, why don't you give me my number? Take my number off the call ID and give it to me.
All right. We're going to do that. With your permission, I'm going to give Rick your number.
That's fine.
Maybe we can change Rick a little bit. Damon, Rick, I appreciate you guys having the dialogue. Thank you both, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Hey, listen,
All right,
I'm
bye.
changing lives on this show, okay? Rick claims that he's never talked to a black person. I don't know if I believe that or not. But if I can change one mind, then I've done something good today. Who else do we have? 702-221-7283 is the number to call. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Patrick. Patrick is next on Pushing the Limits. What's going on, Patrick?
Yo, bro, what's up, man?
What's up, Patrick?
Oh, Nick, I've just been listening to your show. I love your show.
Thank you,
great
sir.
show,
I
always a
appreciate
great show.
it. Thank you.
Now, your topic is about white nationalism.
Yeah, because Tommy Tuberville, if you know the story, I'm not sure if you know it or not, Patrick, but that's
yes.
correct. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yes, sir.
Yeah. You know, all I can say is how there's just been this. How do you say this bravado that has? I mean, I don't. It's never really gone away. I guess you can say. It's just it had been. There had been a time though where it seemed like that it was taboo, and Trump had given it. How do you say? He encouraged it again. I don't know.
Well, here's the way that I would explain it, and you could tell me whether you disagree or not, Patrick. Okay, but this is my personal belief. I believe that there's always racist in society.
Right.
But I also believe that Donald Trump made them feel more comfortable in their racism and gave them a platform in their racism. That's what I believe. Yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah.
No, correct. And that's kind of where I was going with it. It was kind of hard to put it together and put it into words.
Yeah.
To explain it. You know, and it just and the thing about this white nationalism, it always has these certain points or these certain ideologies. One, it kind of leans on Christianity or religion. You know, not that that's a bad thing. You know, but they used the Bible or Christianity as the weapon.
I could not agree with you more, particularly when it comes to those that are homosexuals. I'll give you an example. There are people out there in society that believe that if you are gay, you are beneath them. Now, obviously, I'm not one of those people. And then when I ask them, why do you feel that way? They use their religion to hide from their views that are absurd, you know, bigotry, you know, and those types of views. I mean, I've always come from a place where I grew up where, you know, you treat people as equals. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is, doesn't matter where you were born, and it certainly doesn't matter what your sexuality is. But the people that are call them sinners, I think they just hide behind their religion.
Right. Well, and here's the thing, you know, I don't believe that they actually believe in the real principles of what Christianity is supposed to be about.
Right.
It's another one of those things because even in my community, I'm Mexican American.
Yep.
You know, and even in my own community, I'm seeing these same rhetorics, these same ideologies being used.
Right.
Because a lot of the times those ideologies or those rhetorics of the white nationalists, they're based, or should I say, they use the Bible or religion in order to try to make
Can I
those
ask you,
points.
Patrick? You said you're Mexican. Is that correct?
Sure.
You're Mexican, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
So Mexican American.
Got you. God bless you. So let me ask you this question then. I don't care whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. I just want to ask you this question. When Donald Trump said, quote, "These Mexicans, they're rapists, they're bad people, and I suppose some of them are good people," I want to know what went through your mind when you heard him say that.
He was talking about my grandfather. He was talking about my brothers. You know, he was talking about everybody that I love and everybody that I respect, that I know who are hardworking, who are law-abiding, who are veterans, who are not draft dodgers. And for him to say something like that, you know, that was, you know, and that's like when you hear people trying to call Joe Biden a pedophile.
Right. It's absurd.
It's like one of the worst things you can tell people. And then, like you said, your words have action. Mm-hmm. And if you were out in the street somewhere in public and saying that to somebody's face, somebody would probably punch you in the mouth.
It's okay for Donald Trump to make sexual innuendo jokes about his own daughter. They have no problem with that in talking about her breasts and her body. But God forbid Joe Biden, like a grandfather, gives a kid a tight squeeze hug. All of a sudden, he's a pedophile. But Donald Trump, in a court of law, ruled liable for sexual abuse. They seem to have no problem with that. Or the 25 women that have accused Donald Trump of sexual assault or rape, including Donald Trump's ex-wife in court documents. But that's okay. Let's look up a video of Joe Biden that appears to sniff a girl's hair, and all of a sudden he's the pedophile, and Donald Trump is the squeaky clean guy who holds up the Bible upside down for a photo shoot. You know, I mean, it's absurd.
And no evidence of anything yet. You got a guy. You remember what the Pizzagate was, right?
Yeah, and by the way, people can be killed for spreading conspiracy theories like that. See, some QAnoners saying that Hillary Clinton was in the basement of a pizza shop being a pedophile and sodomizing kids, and people believe that stuff. They believe the Alex Jones stuff, just like they believe when Donald Trump says he won the election. They believe that stuff, you know, and that's why it's dangerous.
Right, and yet there's no evidence to even suggest otherwise. Yet everything does show that Trump has lived this lifestyle most of his life.
He has,
you know, and I can give points of I don't want to say evidence, but it shows what is the term? The term is
I mean, if you're speaking about
deviancy,
right?
The term is deviancy in his lifestyle.
Amen, brother. You're right, and you know, we need politicians representing everybody, just like yourself, that will not make discriminatory comments towards people of Mexican descent or from anywhere. From anywhere. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more.
And I'm gonna, And let me tell you real quick. You know, when Trump he made that comment, that statement about Mexicans. This came from when there was a time in Juarez, Mexico, when there was a lot of young women that were disappearing and being murdered.
Yeah, you're right.
So there was this stereotype or this stigma that the whole nation was like that.
No,
the
you're
whole
right.
country of Mexico is like that.
And that type of language cannot be tolerated. Sadly, there is a small portion of this country that thinks that type of language is okay, but you're not going to hear that from me, brother. Listen, Patrick, I got to let you go.
No. Exactly. Well, like you said, like you said, a normal person is not going to make those types of statements.
No, he's mentally ill. He's a mentally ill, narcissistic nut job, and he needs help. Patrick, I appreciate you calling, my friend. Great to hear from you. Call back anytime, sir. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. See, that's the difference between what I do on this show and right-wing echo chamber radio. See, if you listen to right-wing echo chamber radio today, if you listen to Sean Hannity or Mark Levin, or maybe you watch Laura Ingraham, or you listen to these right-wingers who, again, it's right-wing echo chamber radio or TV, they're going to talk about Hunter Biden's laptop. They're going to talk about the Biden crime family with, by the way, no evidence to back up anything. They're going to talk about Hunter's laptop. They're going to talk about cocaine in the White House. But I'll notice something that they will not talk about, or they rarely ever talk about. The real issues facing this country. Discrimination. Discrimination against minorities in the LGBTQ community. They're not talking about that, or they'll make it seem like it doesn't exist. They're not talking about health care. Yes, on occasion they'll bitch about Obamacare, but they have no replacement plan. So, you know, that's a nothing burger in itself. They're going to talk about how drag queens are indoctrinating our kids and they're reading books to children about equality. God forbid. But they won't talk about gun control. They won't talk about our kids being gunned down in our schools. And if they do talk about it hours after a mass shooting, they'll say that now is not the time. Or they'll be like Ted Cruz and they'll say, lock our doors and let's arm our kindergarten teachers. That's what right-wing echo chamber television and radio does today. Ron DeSantis is of the world, the Donald Trumps of the world, the big lie, talking, the hate against transgenders and minorities. That's what they will do. They will lead you to believe that systemic racism doesn't exist. They will lead you to believe that white people do not have an advantage in this society. And they will lead you to believe like the Tommy Tubervilles of the world, that white nationalism is not racism. Well, guess what? That's not what I do on this show, and that's not what I'm all about. And I don't allow people calling to the show and spreading their hatred and their lies. We can disagree. We could have good debate. But just some of these right-wing shows right here in Las Vegas, they'll let people go on the air and just call Joe Biden a pedophile, and they'll either laugh or agree with them. Because they're despicable people. That's why. They're despicable, talentless clowns. But that's not what I'm going to do here, ladies and gentlemen. You can call me a clown, but not for that reason. All right, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, speaking of clowns, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I've got one for you coming up next. His name is Dog the Bounty Hunter. And he went on a homophobic tirade yesterday. He's taken a lot of flack for it. In fact, his own sister apologized for him, but we haven't heard from him. I have the audio to prove it. It is unbelievable. Break. Be back right after this. You're listening to Pushing the Limits.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premier Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Buying or selling a home is a huge life event that requires guidance from an expert in the industry and community. My name is Blake Wynn. You may recognize my name as my grandfather was the best governor the state of Nevada has ever had. Growing up in Las Vegas, I've come to know this community intricately. Now, I am raising a family here as well, so I understand all the issues impacting our home and quality of life. As the top realtor for the #1 real estate team at Keller Williams, you can have confidence in my experience, knowledge, and track record. When it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate, choose a name you can trust and someone who understands the community you call home. Call Blake Wynn today and experience the difference of a trusted expert. 702-540-3311.
Sapphire Pool and Day Club, the world's only topless gentlemen's day club, introduces its 2023 pool season lineup with a bevy of beauties and social media celebrities throughout the summer who will all host alongside hundreds of Sapphire's topless poolside entertainers. Enjoy brunch in the sun with items like frittata-style omelets, stripping chicken, and French kiss toast before washing it down with signature summertime cocktails. 10 lines beware. Go Bear! Ladies are welcome to go topless within the day club for the ultimate party. Guests can purchase affordable day bed packages, cabana packages, lounge chairs, and more. The best part though? Pushing the Limits will be broadcasting shows every other Friday throughout the pool season with a ton of surprise celebrity guests. Wow! Reserve your spot now. For more info, visit SapphirePoolLV.com or call 702-869-0003. That's 702-869-0003. See you at Sapphire.
The Klondike Casino is a friendly local spot that features their signature restaurant, the Klondike Grill, serving up fresh food fast. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner just off the 95 freeway on Sunset Road in Henderson. You will find the Klondike Casino, featuring all your favorite games from the Strip in the comfort of a neighborhood casino. You can place a bet at their full-service sports book, or start your day with a breakfast plate that comes with your choice of potato and toast. Or check us out for lunch or dinner and try one of our many sandwiches, like the popular beer-battered fish sandwich or the Philly cheesesteak. Check out the full menu at KlondikeSunset.com.
Is your dog suffering from a sensitive stomach? Hi, it's Kelly the Cookie Lady from Mooch's Munchies. Our dogs had super sensitive tummies, and I needed to find a low-fat treat that wouldn't give them gas or other issues. Most of the treats on the market were loaded with fillers, chemicals, and chicken fat. Many of them weren't even food. Well, I knew I could do better, so I developed Mooch's Munchies, and I'm happy to be able to share them with you. Stop by our store or our website, moochesmunchies.com, and find out why we say that Mooch's Munchies are totally pawsome.
All right. Welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits. on a Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us. And tomorrow, by the way, the big man, 7-footer Paul McKeskey, is going to be joining us in studio. Plenty to get to with him. Before I talk about the next serious topic we're going to get to, I do want to tell you that I was at the Las Vegas Aces game yesterday. And it was star-studded. And I knew it would be because you got NBA Summer League in town and you have all these NBA greats that are in town, whether it be for NBA Summer League or, we got USA Basketball around the corner. Pretty much everybody is in town. And I'm walking around and I see on the court all of his legends, guys like Paul George, Donovan Mitchell, John Wall, just to name a few of the legends. And it's great. It's great to see, current and former NBA players supporting the WNBA. That's certainly great to see. And the Aces looked really good. Brittany Griner did not look like herself. She did not look like the Brittany Griner that, from a year or two ago, which is understandable. A little slower. I think that's fair to say. She's much slower than, which is understandable again. But that Mercury team is awful. That is a really bad basketball team. And the Aces, we all know how good they are. I mean, they're by far the best team in the league, and they just destroyed them. And it was nice to see that performance, the sold-out crowd. So I'm back there eating some food in the VIP area, and I run into, all of a sudden I see Isaiah Thomas, and I'm with Chris Wynn, who obviously grew up a huge Detroit Pistons fan. So he was freaking out. And but, we go up to Isaiah, and he's such a nice guy. Chris takes a picture with him. I take a picture. We're talking about the old days of the CBA. I brought up Paul McKeskey's name because Paul McKeskey was Isaiah's teammate when Isaiah was a rookie. So his eyes kind of lit up, and he said, Paul was so great to me. And we just had a really short but really nice conversation. He was like a super nice guy, and we're talking to arguably the best point guard to ever play the game, certainly, in my opinion, top 10 player of all time. And he just conducted himself just like he was a regular dude, just a really nice, friendly guy. And that was really cool. I never take that stuff for granted. In the last week, I've had conversations with Kyrie Irving. He's an interesting one. But Kyrie Irving, Jerry West, Isaiah Thomas, just to name a few of the people that Frank Vogel, by the way, I was eating with him yesterday, former Laker head coach. I mean, the people that frequent Las Vegas on a regular basis, everybody comes out here, right? If you have money and you're famous, you're a celebrity, whether it be a professional athlete, whatever you are. Darren Waller was back there as well. Of course, he's recently married to Kelsey Plum, lucky bastard. And but I love Darren. I just think he's such a great guy, and at least I certainly sorely miss him. I think the Raiders organization does as well. He's just a really, really good dude. He's genuine, and he talks about his trials and tribulations with mental health, drug addiction, and how he turned his life around and what he's done to help others. I mean, the guy literally went into the tunnels in Las Vegas, and you can see these videos of him going, which, by the way, is not safe, dangerous. Going into these tunnels and having these conversations with these people who are mentally ill, many of them homeless, have substance abuse issues, and he saved lives. You have to respect that. And what has Kyrie Irving done? Except promote anti-Semitic movies and provide medical misinformation to people. What has Kyrie Irving done with his platform? When it's all said and done on your headstone, what did you do in your life? I hope it doesn't say on my headstone, Brian, all you did was call people right-wing buffoons. I hope it says more than that. But, when you have a huge platform like they do, and you have a lot of money and a lot of power, and people listen to what you say, a lot of people, like millions of people, then you have a duty to be responsible. And I say that to LeBron James as well. I'm not just talking about the Donald Trumps of the world. I'm talking about people on the left, too. I'm talking about people like LeBron James. When you make a statement like every black person that leaves their home or apartment thinks they're going to be gunned down, that's not how every black person in this country thinks. I know that for sure. Because unlike Rick, I actually do have friends that are black. That's not true. And when you see something or hear that a white officer shoots somebody black, you can't immediately assume that race was involved and that officer is a murderer either. Now, in some cases, that may very well be the case. But you can't make that assumption, and LeBron has done that. Like it or not, when you have that huge platform, it has to come with a tremendous amount of responsibility, and a lot of people don't see it that way. And that's across the board. And one of those people, he might not have as big a platform as LeBron James, but listen, Dog the Bounty Hunter's been around for a long time. People do listen to what he says. And I'll be honest with you, I've watched his show. Somebody who at one time I lived with, her name is Jamie Jungers. She was one of the Tiger Woods mistresses. We lived together for a while. We dated for a little bit. I found out she was doing drugs and she had a drug problem, and we didn't talk for a while. And I didn't know how badly she was doing. She got addicted to some of the most serious drugs you could be addicted to. And Dog the Bounty Hunter saved her life. Now, it was a part of his show, but he saved her life. He got her out of a home that was a really horrible situation. She spent a little time in prison, saved her life. She's cleaned up her act. She's got a wonderful boyfriend. She lives in Kansas, and I am so happy for her because at heart, she's a very nice person. Dog the Bounty Hunter saved her life. He's done some good things. But this man is a bigot, and I'm going to prove it to you right now. He is a bigot. He is a homophobe, and he is a disgrace. So he's doing this podcast, and in this podcast, he goes on a homophobic rant, unsolicited, by the way. Have a listen to this.
For many, many years, these holy rollers have done just that, rolled around. And you see where they've got us now? They've got kids changing their sexuality.
Yep.
They
Come
preach
on.
about tithing more than they do about what's going on.
Yep.
They're so wacko themselves
Mhm.
that where they have brought us all is to the gates of hell. So we have to.
Okay, stop that for a second. First of all, what he said is so stupid. He's such a dumbass. Dog the Bounty dumbass is what I'm going to call him. First of all, kids don't wake up one day and say, hey, I think I want to be gay. That's not how it works. But for somebody that is stupid and ignorant and trailer trash like Dog the Bounty Hunter, I'm not surprised he'd make a statement like that. And then he says they're taking us to the gates of hell. Why? Because somebody has a different sexuality than you. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about bigotry. Let me tell you something. It's not the teachers that are indoctrinating us. It's people like Dog the Bounty Hunter, these hatred, homophobic fools. Go ahead.
Stop all that. Rebuke them. 2 ways to rebuke in Jesus' name, and then physically.
Get out the way.
Francis-
You like laying hands on people, Doug, and I have a feeling it's not the type of hands we do in the church.
Right. Well,
I've seen your shows.
All right, stop it again. What a bunch of despicable people that are doing this show. They're laughing. The guy just threatened people for being different than him sexuality-wise. And they're laughing about it, and they think it's funny. Here's what I would say to that statement. Dog the Bounty bigot. I would say somebody should kick your ass. How dare you? How dare you make the claim that somebody should get physical with another because their sexuality is different than yours? Only a bigot would make a statement like that.
As Jesus was not a sissy. When
Yeah.
when the garage sale guys were in his father's house,
Ooh.
and those people were really dependent on selling their meat and all that.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long of a whip he had, but he threw over the tables, whooped them all, threw them out. So and then that poor fig tree, he said he went over there, was a little hungry, and the fig tree didn't have any figs on it. And he said, listen, you punk, you'll never grow another fig. I'm hungry. So he was not a sissy man. And so that's what we need is, I heard a preacher say the other day, we don't need no more sissy men.
All right, let's stop it again. So according to this idiot, again, his name is Dwayne Chapman, Dog the Bounty Humper is what I will call him. He thinks that you're a sissy if you're gay. That if you're a lesbian or you're a male that is gay, he correlates that with being a sissy. First of all, let me tell you, I have gay friends of mine that are a lot tougher than me, and I'm straight. So that is bullcrap. And that is, again, the association that if you're gay, that must mean you're a sissy, because, again, Dwayne Chapman is a bigot. He's a bad person. He's a bigot. Go ahead.
Even Joel Osteen has become a man. So
yeah, Joel Osteen's the man.
We need men and women that are willing to stand up against evil.
That's right.
And speak the word of God. Pride Month, was it? What month was it? With all the
Yeah, it is.
Pride Month.
Y'all are gonna get my Facebook shut down, but it's okay. Y'all, if we go down, come bail us out.
Yeah, because you're all
Pride
dummies.
comes
That's why.
Before a fall.
Oh, yes.
If they want to shut us off because quoting the scriptures, I've got a lot of.
What are you
lawyers.
quoting? Stop it again. This is every other word out of this idiot's mouth. What are you quoting in the scripture that says that if you're gay, you're a sissy? Funny, I didn't hear about that in the scripture. Then he's mocking Gay Pride Month. Hey, dumbass, the reason why we have Gay Pride Month is because these people have been discriminated against for decades and decades because of a-holes like you. God, this guy's so dumb. I don't even know if I want to hear any more of this. I'll try another couple seconds here. I don't know if I can get through this. It gets me so angry, but go ahead.
So pride cometh before the fall. And
Come
that
on.
doesn't mean you trip. That means they're falling to the right and to the left. Target, Belinsky, all these guys that are backing those jokers up are taking billion-dollar beatings.
Really?
They're
Okay,
falling.
let's stop it again. Interesting. I don't have billions, so it'd be really hard for me to take $1 billion beating, maybe hundreds of dollars of beatings. Nobody's telling me what to say. I'm not making any money because of my beliefs when it comes to homosexuality. So again, he's wrong, and the overwhelming majority of America disagrees with him. Go ahead.
So I have compassion for people that are lost like that.
Agreed.
You know,
Yeah, because
They're
you're lost. You're
saved.
lost.
They need
yeah.
to be
And
saved
healed.
and delivered.
Exactly.
But I still I have friends that are that way.
Yeah.
A family member that is
Yeah,
that
I
way.
bet they love you.
Right.
So
And we love them.
Oh, yeah, I'm
but
sure you do.
That's
Yeah.
not the way God made us. He didn't
Exactly.
make Adam and Steve. He made Adam and Eve. So that's exactly how it is.
What a bigot. What a disgraceful bigot Dwayne Chapman is. Dog the Bounty bigot. First of all, who the hell are you to tell me the way God made us? You have no idea what you are talking about. People have been gay since the beginning of time. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. What a dumb bigot. Dwayne Chapman. Somebody should, they should have a Dog the Bounty bigot go get him and save him. Take him to jail. You stupid a-hole. You ignorant buffoon. You trailer trash buffoon, what you are. One of his daughters has spoken out. By the way, both of his daughters have spoken out against him. But I have a statement from one of his daughters who I feel so sorry for that this is their father. What a bigoted buffoon this guy is. One of his daughters spoke out and said the comments made by Dwayne Chapman reflect prehistoric beliefs and do not align with true Christian values. Jesus loves everyone and would strongly denounce this non-accepting rhetoric. It is utterly repulsive to advocate violence against our transgender community and is equally repulsive to invoke Jesus' name in vain to support such views. Making comments about my sister's marriage and sexuality is abhorrent. I have personally apologized to my sister, Lisa, for our father's words, and I extend that apology publicly as well. Despite our differences, I am deeply sorry that our father publicly disrespected you and your relationship. These comments are precisely why I distanced myself, as hearing them in our family home from my now stepmother was the breaking point. And she goes on, and I give her all the credit in the world for doing that. God bless her for doing that. Who the hell does this guy Dwayne Chapman... By the way, there are a lot of Dwayne Chapmans out there. Dog the Bounty idiots out there. There are a lot of guys like Dwayne Chapman out there. Who are we speaking about? Uneducated middle America. I guarantee you this is the same guy who spoke against Black Lives Matter. I guarantee you this is the same guy who sports his MAGA flags. I guarantee you this is the same guy who's got the MAGA flag in the back of his truck. It ain't a malarkey flag. I guarantee you that. It's the guy who talked against Black Lives Matter protests. It's the same guy who probably calls Joe Biden a pedophile. Keep in mind, this is a public podcast. Keep in mind, this isn't even the comments of Dwayne Chapman privately. Imagine the stuff he says privately about people who are gay. I really don't know how else to put this, except I'll put it this way. Because I do know some people in my life that also have these views. Now, I try not to associate myself with them, but sometimes it's unavoidable in public, right? Sometimes it's unavoidable. If you have that much of homophobic tendencies and you're that much of a homophobe that you would go as a celebrity, you would go on a public podcast, not only denounce those that are gay, but threaten them physically with violence. Then there's a couple different scenarios as to why. People ask me, why, Brian? Why are people this hateful? Why are they like this? Well, I'll start with number one. And I hate to say it like this, but maybe something happened to Dwayne Chapman when he was younger and something where he was molested or something sexually happened to him inappropriate. You could be gay or straight or whatever. Sadly, there are going to be a small percentage of people that are evil, that are sexual predators. And maybe it was somebody that was gay. So because of that horrible experience, he has a hatred towards people that are all gay. It could be that. It could be that he's just really dumb. Like really dumb, stupid people are racist and homophobic, right? Uneducated people, who Donald Trump says he loves, by the way. The uneducated people are people that are raised to be stupid. People that are raised to hate people if they're different than you, if they look differently than you, if they act differently than you, if they dress differently than you, if their sexuality is different than yours, because they were raised by hateful, ignorant parents. It could be that. Or it could just be that you're just a hateful person. Or it could be all three. I get that question asked all the time. Why are people like this? By the way, Dwayne Chapman's other daughter, Bonnie Chapman, also released a statement aimed at her father saying Jesus loves everyone and would strongly denounce this non-acceptance rhetoric. It is utterly repulsive to advocate violence against our transgender community, equally repulsive to invoke Jesus' name in vain to support your beliefs. Lisa says Dog's comments are not in line with her father's character, which I completely disagree with. He said it. This is his character. It's the old saying, right? Oh, well, that's not me. Well, no, it is, because we have you on audio, so I think it is you. And what's even more telling, because Dog the Bounty Hunter is such a coward, his two daughters had to put out apology statements for him. A man, a real man, you want to talk about a sissy. Dog the Bounty Hunter's the sissy. A real man would have apologized himself. He wouldn't have hid behind his family and his poor two daughters that had to apologize for him. He's the sissy because a man admits when he's wrong. A man admits when he makes a mistake, not because someone's forcing him to apologize, because he wants to do it, because he knows it was the right thing to do. He's the definition of a sissy. And that, by the way, that has nothing to do with your sexuality or your gender. You're a sissy when you don't own up to your responsibilities and you make horrible mistakes. Now, you're not going to change this guy. Maybe he'll apologize. I hope he does, but, I don't think it'll be genuine. Maybe he will apologize. But the truth be told is that his two daughters had to apologize for him. How pathetic are you as a human being? It's really sad. And unfortunately, people like Dog the Bounty Hunter have very large platforms. And sadly, there are a percentage of people in society that also believe what Dog the Bounty Hunter believes, which is that obviously being gay is some sort of sin. I think you're the sinner if you believe that, because you're judging people that are different than you. You're the sinner. You're going to hell. And these people that preach this on the alt-right, they think they know that there's a heaven and hell. They think they know everything, right? Because they're bigots. And it's awful. And I really feel sorry for this man's family. This is their father. My father would never make statements like this because he's not a bigot. He's a decent, good man. And if he did, I'd be embarrassed. But I know he wouldn't, because that's not who he is, because that's not his character. It's funny, I'll say this isn't in line with my father's character. Oh, really? It's not? Why would he say these comments then? They always say that, right? They get caught. Donald Trump says, grab him by the kitty cat. Oh, that's not in his character. Yes, it is. He's a sexual abuser. That is exactly who he is. Exactly who he is. This is a public podcast. Public. So anyway, I hope this guy gets canceled everywhere. There's no room for people like him in our society, that's for sure. And I hope he gets canceled everywhere. Hope he's never on TV again. I don't know, anybody can still support this guy or his show. What a horrible, pathetic turd this guy is. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of people attacking the the trans community. I'm sick of people attacking people because their religion is different than yours or sexuality or the color of your skin. I'm sick of it. And quite frankly, it's mentally exhausting to have to call these people out every single day because there are so many good people in this world. And I want to be able to talk more about them, but you have to call out the bad. You have to. How could anybody re-sign this guy to another TV contract? How? You're supporting a bigot. It's just got to stop, man. And I try to call these people out, and I'll continue to do so. But like I said, it is exhausting. But I'm going to take a mental break. Tomorrow we're going to talk some sports with Paul McKeskey. I'm going to the soccer match tonight. That's going to be a big one. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Mexico is in town. So that's going to be a fun one tonight. I believe it's the semifinals as well. CONCACAF, is that how you pronounce it? The semifinals of the CONCACAF. Am I pronouncing it right? I don't know. I'm not a huge soccer fan. But going to Allegiant Stadium in like a sold-out crowd, people are going to be crazy in there, and you get offered to sit in a suite to do so for free with free food and drinks. I don't think I'm going to say no to that, so I'm going to go. Going to have some fun. Talk about that tomorrow. Paul McKeskey will be joining us in studio. Guy David will be wearing an eye patch tomorrow because he had a minor eye surgery done today, so that's why he wasn't in today, but he'll be back tomorrow. I appreciate all of you for joining us. Anybody who knows Dog the Bounty Hunter personally, that'd be great. I think that was one of the most mesmerizing phone call conversations I've ever had. A white man speaking to the first time to a black man live on radio. That was priceless. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, and I hope everybody has a great day. Have a good one, everybody.